Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Podcast English Learning, the place where English becomes a part of your everyday life. I'm so happy you're here with me. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel nervous speaking English out loud, even when you know what to say? What if just a few minutes of practice a day could make you feel confident and ready to speak to anyone? Well, you're in the right place, because in today's episode, we're going to practice speaking together, slowly, clearly, and with purpose. I'll guide you step by step. We're using real-life questions, simple, practical ones, the kind you'd hear in conversations with friends, coworkers, or even travelers. I'll ask you a question, then give you examples of how to answer. First short, then longer. After that, it's your turn. I'll give you time to speak your own answer out loud. That's it. You listen. You speak. You grow. Let's begin our journey together. Question 1. What's the very first thing you do after you wake up? Let's say it slowly together. What is the very first thing you do after you wake up? Here's a short answer. I check my phone. I check my phone. Here's a longer answer. The first thing I do is check my phone. I turn off my alarm and take a quick look at my messages. And here's a more detailed version. When I wake up, the very first thing I do is grab my phone. I silence the alarm, check the time, and read any messages or emails. I don't always reply, but I like to see what's going on. Now it's your turn. What's the first thing you do after you wake up? Take your time. I'll give you about 20 seconds. You can pause if you'd like more time. Great job. Maybe your answer is something like, I brush my teeth right away. Or, I open the window and stretch. Or maybe, I stay in bed for a few minutes and plan my day. Nice. Now say it again. And try to add a little more detail. I'll give you about 15 seconds this time. Well done. Let's move to the next one. Question 2. What can you hear right now? Say it slowly with me. What do you hear right now? Here's a short answer. I hear birds. I hear birds. A little longer. I hear birds outside. It's peaceful and quiet. Even longer. Right now I can hear birds near my window. Their song is soft. I also hear a car driving by outside. It's a calm morning and everything feels still and slow. Now you try. What do you hear right now? Take about 20 seconds to answer. Nice work. You might say something like, I hear people talking in the kitchen, or I hear traffic outside my house, or I hear music coming from another room. Now try one more time. Describe the sounds more clearly. Are they loud or soft, fast or slow? Do you enjoy these sounds? You've got 15 seconds to answer again. Go ahead. Excellent. Let's keep going. Question 3. What time do you usually go to bed? Let's say it slowly together. What time do you usually go to bed? Here's a short answer. I go to bed at 11. I go to bed at 11. A longer answer might be, I usually go to bed around 11 at night. Sometimes a little later if I'm not feeling tired. Now here's a fuller answer with more detail. I usually sleep around 11 at night. I try to go to bed early because I wake up at 7, but sometimes I stay up late. It really depends on the day. Now your turn. What time do you usually go to bed? Take your time. You've got about 20 seconds. Great job. Maybe you could say, I sleep really late around 1 in the morning. Or I feel better when I go to bed at 9. Or even, my sleep time changes every day. Now say your answer again, but this time try adding more. How do you feel before bed? Why do you sleep at that time? 15 seconds for this one. Go ahead. You're doing great. Let's continue. Question 4. What do you always carry with you? Say it slowly with me. What do you always carry with you? Here's a short answer. I always carry my phone. I always carry my phone. Let's add a bit more. I always carry my phone, my wallet, and my keys. I need them every single day. Now a longer answer with more detail. I never leave the house without my phone, wallet, and keys. They're always in my pocket or my bag. Sometimes I also bring a notebook or headphones, especially if I'll be out for a while. Now it's your turn. What do you always carry? Take about 20 seconds to answer. Good job. Maybe you could say, I always carry a water bottle, or I carry my student ID and headphones, or I always have a book in my backpack. Now say it again. Why do you carry these things? When do you use them? 15 seconds. Go ahead. Well done. Let's move forward. Question 5. What's something you're learning right now? Say it again with me. What's something you are learning right now? Here's a short answer. I'm learning Spanish. I'm learning Spanish. Here's a longer one. I'm learning Spanish this year. I study a little every day. Now, a full version with detail. Right now, I'm learning Spanish. I take online classes 3 times a week. I also try to watch Spanish videos or listen to music every day. It's challenging, but I enjoy the process. I want to speak with locals when I travel. Your turn now. What are you learning right now? Take your time, or about 20 seconds. Great. Maybe you're learning to play the guitar. Maybe you're studying for your driving test. Maybe you're learning English. And that's why you're here. And that's amazing. Now say it one more time, but with more. What are you learning exactly? Why did you choose to learn it? How do you study? You've got 20 seconds. Go for it. Wonderful work. Let's move on. Question 6. What's something you never eat? Let's say it slowly together. What is something you never eat? Here's a short answer. I never eat mushrooms. I never eat mushrooms. Now a longer answer. I don't eat mushrooms because I don't like how they taste. And here's a more detailed version. I never eat mushrooms. I've tried them many times, but I just don't like the flavor or the texture. They feel strange in my mouth, so I avoid them. Now you try. What's something you never eat? Take your time, about 20 seconds. Excellent. You might say, I never eat spicy food. It's too hot for me. Or, I don't eat meat. I'm vegetarian. Or, I never eat seafood because I'm allergic. Now say it again, but this time add more. Why don't you eat it? What happens if you do? You have 20 seconds to explain. Go ahead. What is something you never eat? Let me give you my full answer. I never eat mushrooms because I really don't enjoy the flavor. I never eat mushrooms because I really don't enjoy the flavor. And if I want to expand and add more details, here's how I would say it. I don't eat mushrooms. I've tried them plenty of times. But honestly, I just don't like the way they taste or feel. The texture feels odd in my mouth, and it just doesn't sit right with me. Now it's your turn. What is something you never eat? I'll give you about 20 seconds. Go ahead and say your answer out loud. Great job. You might say, I never eat spicy food. It's way too hot for me. Or, I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian. Or, I stay away from seafood because I have an allergy. Now try again. Can you give more detail? Why don't you eat it? What happens if you do? Take another 20 seconds. You're doing great. What's something that makes you happy? Here's my short answer. Music makes me happy. Music makes me happy. Now here's a longer version. Listening to music helps me feel relaxed and brings me joy. And if I want to say more, music always lifts my mood. When I feel tired or a bit down, I put on my headphones and play the songs I love. It helps me calm down and feel more positive. Sometimes I even sing along to the lyrics. Now it's your turn. What's something that brings you happiness? Go ahead and answer. I'll give you a moment, about 20 seconds. Good job. Maybe you want to say, spending time with my family makes me happy. Or, watching funny videos always makes me laugh. Or, cooking for my friends brings me joy. Now say your answer again. Try to express more emotion this time. Why does it make you happy? How do you feel when it happens? You've got 20 seconds. I believe in you. What is something you're afraid of? Let's talk about fear. Here's my short answer. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of heights. A bit longer would be, I get nervous when I'm on tall buildings or high places. Now here's how I could say it in more detail. I'm scared of heights. When I'm up somewhere high, my legs feel shaky and I get very tense. Even climbing a tall ladder makes my heart race. I feel much better once I'm back on the ground. Now it's your turn. What's something you're afraid of? Take a moment. I'll give you 20 seconds to answer. Great work. You might say, I'm afraid of spiders. Or, I'm scared of flying. Or maybe, public speaking makes me nervous. Now say your answer one more time, but add a little more. What happens when you face that fear? How does your body feel? What do you think? Go ahead. You've got 20 seconds. What is one thing you want to do this year? Let's look ahead a little. Here's my short answer. I want to travel. I want to travel. Now a little more. I want to visit a different country this year. And now the longer version. This year, I really hope to explore somewhere new. I've been working hard and I think I need a break. I'd love to go to Italy. I want to eat delicious food and see the sea again. Now you try. What's something you want to do this year? Take your time. About 20 seconds. Well done. You might want to say, I want to start a new job. Or, I want to focus more seriously on learning English. Or, I want to save money and buy a car. Now say it again, but this time, tell me why. Why do you want this? How will it make you feel? You've got about 20 seconds. Let's hear it. What is something that annoys you? Let's talk about little things that bother us. Here's a short answer. Loud noises annoy me. Loud noises annoy me. And by the way, annoy means to bother. Now here's a longer answer. I get irritated when people speak loudly on the phone. And here's an extended answer with more feeling. One thing that really gets on my nerves is when people shout or speak loudly in public places. I find it hard to concentrate when there's too much noise around me. I prefer quiet spaces. They help me think and feel calm. Now it's your turn. What is something that annoys you? I'll give you 20 seconds. Say it out loud. Awesome. You might say, it annoys me when people arrive late. Or I get annoyed when my phone dies. Or I really don't like being interrupted when I'm talking. Now try your answer again, but go deeper. Why does it annoy you? Can you give an example or a small story? Go ahead. You've got 20 seconds. Good job. What do you like to do when it rains? Let's imagine a rainy day. Here's a short answer. I like to stay inside. I like to stay inside. A longer answer might be, when it rains, I enjoy staying home and sipping tea. Now here's a more detailed version. When it's rainy outside, I love staying indoors. I usually sit by the window and watch the rain fall. I make myself a cup of tea or coffee and play some calm music. The sound of the rain really soothes me. Now it's your turn. What do you like to do when it rains? Take your time. I'll give you 20 seconds. Nice. Maybe you'll say, I like walking in the rain, or I love to sleep when it rains, or I stay in and watch movies to relax. Now say it again, but add more. How do you feel when it rains? Why do you enjoy doing that? You've got 20 seconds. Let's hear it. What's your dream job? Let's dream for a moment. Here's a short answer. My dream job is to be a writer. My dream job is to be a writer. Now a little longer, my dream is to become a writer because I enjoy stories. And if I want to add more, my dream job is to write books that inspire people and make them think deeply. I enjoy writing in peaceful places, creating new ideas, and playing with words. Writing has been something I've loved since I was a child. Now you go. What is your dream job? Take a moment. I'll give you 20 seconds to think and speak. Excellent. Maybe you'll say, I want to become a doctor, or I want to be a teacher someday, or I dream of opening my own small business. Now repeat your answer and tell me more. Why is this your dream? How would it make you feel to have that job? Go ahead. You have 20 seconds. You're doing amazing. Closing message. And just like that, you've answered a whole set of real English questions. You've practiced thinking in English, speaking out loud, and building longer, more natural sentences. This is how fluency begins. One simple question, one honest answer, one day at a time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. You know, I want to pause here for a moment and just talk directly to you, the listener. If you've made it this far in the episode, first of all, thank you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for giving yourself time and space to learn. It may feel like a small thing, repeating some simple questions and answers, but this is how it starts. I know what you might be thinking. Is this enough? Will I ever really speak English confidently? The answer is yes. Yes, you will. But not because you have some magic gift, not because you're perfect, and definitely not because you never make mistakes. You'll speak confidently because you keep showing up. And that, my friend, is what makes the difference between people who learn a language and people who give up. Think of learning English like growing a plant. You don't see the results right away. The first day you plant a seed, nothing happens. The second day, still nothing. A week later, maybe just a tiny sprout pokes out of the soil. But one day, without even noticing it, you'll look back and realize, wow, I just spoke a full sentence without translating in my head. Or, I understood everything in that conversation. Or, I finally ordered food in English and the person understood me. And that moment is your reward for not giving up. So if right now you're feeling like your English is slow or your sentences aren't perfect, I want you to know that's okay. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to improve step by step. You might wonder why this podcast always asks you to speak out loud, even when nobody's listening. Here's why. Your mouth is learning, not just your brain. Reading and listening are important, yes, but if you never train your mouth to speak, to move with English sounds, then when it's time to talk to someone, your words will freeze. But when you've already practiced out loud, even just to yourself, your brain will say, I've done this before. I know how this sounds. I can say it. You're not just practicing vocabulary. You're training your confidence. So even if you feel silly talking to yourself, do it anyway. That's what fluency is built on. 100 little moments when you choose to speak. All the questions we practice today, What do you carry with you? What time do you go to bed? What makes you happy? They're not random. They're real questions you'll actually hear in conversations. They're questions people ask at work, during small talk, at the airport, at school, or even on a date. They are practical, they are personal, and they help you tell your story clearly, confidently, and with more detail. So don't just think of these as grammar exercises. Think of them as building blocks for your real-world communication. Maybe you've noticed we repeat answers several times. Short, long, then longer. That's not because we don't have more material. It's because repetition is your best friend when learning a language. When you repeat, you make new sentence patterns stick in your brain, get used to the rhythm and flow of English, build stronger memory connections. Just like athletes train the same moves over and over, you're training your tongue, your mind, and your ears to work together. So if you think, wait, I've already said this, that's perfect. That means you're on the right path. Learning English can sometimes feel lonely, especially if your friends or family aren't on the same path. But I want to remind you, you are not alone. Every time you press play on this podcast, you're joining a quiet but powerful community of learners around the world who are choosing to grow, just like you. They may be in Vietnam, Mexico, Brazil, India, or France, but they're all here, practicing one question at a time. So even if you're alone in your room right now, your effort is connected to something much bigger. You belong here. If you're wondering what to do next, here's what I recommend. 1. Listen to this episode again, but this time, pause and repeat with more confidence. 2. Try writing your answers down in a notebook. Make them longer. Add your own personal details. 3. Practice speaking your answers in front of a mirror, or even record yourself and listen back. Small actions equals big change over time. Before we finish, I want to leave you with this. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need fancy vocabulary. You don't need to be the fastest speaker in the room. You just need to show up. One question, one answer, one honest effort. You're doing more than learning a language. You're building a new part of your life. And I'm really proud of you for that. Thank you so much for being here with me today on Podcast English Learning. If no one has told you today, you're doing a great job. Keep going, keep practicing, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. See you next time.